NOx2 had a concentration below 100 micromolar. And in conclusion, we were able to establish a proof of concept screening pipeline for identifying a NOx2 specific inhibitor using 4 distinct assays. And indeed, many of our potential candidates, those 150 compounds, we found them to be false positives, either due to antioxidant effect or inhibitor activity until activation pathway upstream of NOx2. We will be further studying these compounds with Dr. Lito. We're in current development for developing cell lines that express other NOx isoforms, such as NOx1 and NOx4, as a method to identify non-discriminate inhibition of the NOx family. And in trying to identify more inhibitors, we're also gearing up to screen much larger libraries that contain over 500,000 compounds as potential candidates. And it is in our not-too-distant future to move into a preclinical animal model that is predisposed to atherosclerosis and then test the compounds in vivo. So thank you very much.
I just want to end by pointing out that, as with all these projects, there's a lot of people that make this work. And in our lab, Holger Rimbert, who's sitting here behind Cornelius, has been a key player. And then Perez, who was a nurse who helps to recruit the patients. Harry Malik and Steve Corn have been partners with me for decades. And Nicole Ruth, shown on the right, is a nurse who's currently working with us. Statistician was Ching-Ju Wang. Then you see we've had 2 Cosmar converters working with us recently. Anthony Pennato is now an MD PhD candidate at the University of Connecticut. And Cal Wolf will soon be going to medical school. And then the radiologist who helped us do the MRI scans is David Monkey, who's chief of radiology. The cardiologist is Christopher Sibley, who helped us not only interpret the MRI scans, but care for some of the abnormalities we picked up in some normal hosts. And then Doug Close, who's up at Frederick with SAIC, who's helped us with lots of the assays. So we're all open for questions. Thank you.
You mentioned that the cutoffs, you chose are kind of arbitrary. So was that maybe to narrow down the list of compounds we had, or was that assay-based? I guess I'm trying to figure out what the goal is from your lab. Is this to get like a single lead compound, or just to say, hey, here's what we got, and then we have to phase 1 or test animals? Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. Ideally, we want to have compounds that are interfering least with our assays. So perhaps those compounds that have less reduction in our phase 1 assay, and with our fish and Robophil assay, compounds that have more than 90% restriction. And the issue with that is this one is 2 libraries that screen that would generate right now 0 compounds. Just making those arbitrary cutoffs. So this is why we're gearing up to a much larger library that's small molecular antibodies that contains over 500,000 compounds. And of those that really are needed are these compounds, we can also then chemically synthesize them further and find a more specific inhibitor of NOx2. Thank you.
So I have a question that you can ask. So the objective of the inhibitor would be to inhibit NOx activity. Are you concerned that you might be reproducing the phenotype of chronic granulomatous disease or other infections? What do you think about that?
That is a concern. And really, what happens in patients with CGD is that they are more susceptible for infection. And our goal here is to take the perspective from cardiovascular disease and really obtain a compound that perhaps does not abolish all superoxide production, but rather eliminate those to a certain extent. And NOx2 is expressed both on the surface of the plasma membrane and also in the sort of compartment. So perhaps an inhibitor that is not discriminately inhibitable NOx2, but rather perhaps is localized to those at the surface, and then superoxide is still generated inside the cell and in cell compositions.
I'll check out a little bit. We need to be like highly correct.
I got it.
Yes. You're probably sure that we have a lot of carriers in our cohort, and the X-linked carriers of CGD are particularly interesting. And if you remember back to the NVC test I showed you, that those women who are carrying the disease, depending on lionization of when it occurs, have a variable amount of normal cells and abnormal cells. So we have over 200 such patients for subjects, and they can be extremely lionized, so that they are either essentially 99% of their cells are abnormal, or 1% of their cells are abnormal. And so one of the things we're doing now is studying all those women to see if the spectrum of lionization correlates with a spectrum of protection from atherosclerosis. So the hope is that we will see that people are protected with say 50% of loss of function. And if that proves to be the case, then we would want a compound that say not keep down 50% of people who are 50% abnormal. These women have a point in terms of infection. And in actual fact, you probably only need about 5 to 10% normal cells to be clinically protected from infections. You don't need a lot of them. Now, there is a weakness in this study that we're doing in that CGD, all the cells are suppressed. And in these women who are carriers, a percentage of them are abnormal. And it could be that the normal cells can complement the defect in the abnormal cells, and we won't see anything. We don't know that. But the question is, how much suppression would you need to get protection from the inflammatory, exaggerated inflammatory process that we're all subjected to every day of our lives?
Are CGD patients less susceptible to atherosclerosis than neoplastic disease?
So the measure of carotid artery thickness is the marker we have. And, until recent years, they haven't been living normal lives, like Robert Carpet, and more of these patients are now going to live, we anticipate, fully normal lives. So we don't have an historical base to really answer your question clearly. I can't say whether they're protected from cancer or not.
If you have a knockdown or knockout that passed through and subjected it to some chemical or other stimulants that would produce neoplasm in the city.
Yeah, we haven't done that, nor has anyone else yet. That's right.
Well, okay, also I said that. The other thing that struck me was the 3 of your candidates showing effects are in the PI3 kinase AKT pathway and M4. So is there any connection between what we know about the regulation of NOx trafficking within a cell and PI3 kinase pathway? It must be.
PI3 kinase inhibitor too, inhibited the phagocyte oxidase.
Yeah,
like Cortman, yeah.
But they're doing it because NOx is present both somewhere in the cytoplasm and also in the airways in the apical membrane. So they get there by trafficking and they may even be cycling out of
My concern is that the inhibitors of the kinases and commonplace simple mediators are going to hit so many cellular systems besides the noxus, so I'm less inclined to consider them as good drug candidates.
Yeah. Well, are there any other questions on this? I don't have thank you all very much. This is really very exciting, very provocative, and I trust there are a lot of people who are out there who will benefit from this. So thank you again, John, and thank you very
Welcome everyone to the Interagency Autism Coordinating Committee meeting. It's a pleasure for me to share this excellent committee for the second time. And I'd like to welcome everybody on the committee. Thank you very much for taking the time to come here and work with us on this incredibly important issue. And thanks everyone in the public session for coming and listening in, and also for everyone who's listening on in through the web. I'd like to take a moment. We're going to do a roll call in a moment, but before we do that, I just wanted to introduce some of the new members and mention some of the outgoing members. So first, I'd like to welcome Dr. Diana Bianchi, the new director of the National Institute for Child Health and Development, and so she'll be serving on the committee replacing Dr. Catherine Spahn, who was the acting director. So we're very pleased to have Dr. Bianchi here. She is really a world-renowned expert on child health and development and maternal fetal health, and she's going to be a fantastic new director to have her on board. So welcome. I also want to welcome Dr. Laura Pintock, who will be replacing Dr. Elizabeth Casso as the representative of the Administration for Health Care and Research and Quality. Laura, are you here? No, not here yet. Okay. We next have a few announcements that of who are leaving. Where it says Stephen Go will be thankful for this service. First, Ms. Shannon Hayworth is going to be stepping down. She's not here already. Excellent. And officially she's stepping down from her role as a public member of the IACC because we have a good fortune she now joined the federal government working at the Health Resources and Services Administration. And so I'd like to thank Shannon for her service on the committee and wish her good luck in the new position. I also want to announce that she'll be continuing to serve as one of the co-chairs of the Strategic Plan Working Group for Question 5 until the strategic plan is finished. So very pleased. I want to announce also that this is the last meeting for Commissioner Aaron Bishop of the Administration of Community Living, as he will be departing with the change of administration. I'd like to thank him for his service on the committee as well. And then finally, this is the likely, but we're still not sure, that this will be the last meeting for Dr. Francis Collins, who's been serving officially on the committee, represented here most of the time by Dr. Josie Briggs, director of NCCIH. And I believe for now anyway, Josie will be serving as the representative of the NIH director in during the future period. All right, so maybe we get a round of applause for our new members and a thank you to Mr. Party-One. And now I'll turn it over to Susan Daniels, who will be doing the roll call and asking approval of last minutes.
Okay, so I'd like to do a roll call so that people that are on the phone especially will know who's here. Those who are watching the webcast probably can see us, but we'll go through. So Joshua Gordon.
Here.
Jim Dye.
Here.
Diana Bianchi. Here. Cindy Lawler. Here. Karen Bishop. Maybe on his way. Oh, here. Okay, yeah, great, thank you. Josie Briggs. Ruth Ethel. Tiffany Quarcioni. Maybe on her way. Melissa Harris. Is not going to be attending. Laura Chapman. Walter Korshak.
Yeah, right back, yeah.
Oh, hi, Walter. I will. Okay. Yes, and so they're looking at the phone. Okay. Yes, I'll just interrupt for just a minute. Is there anybody on the phone that can hear us and remember the committee that wants to speak up for a roll call? We have heard that there is a problem with the webcast and people can't hear us, so we're working on that, trying to get it fixed. Okay, Walter Korshak. Laura Pincock is going to be sitting by phone, so she may be one of the people trying to be heard. Stuart Shapiro.
Here.
Thanks. Larry Wexler. Chantal Meek. And Sam New. Or Nicole. Oh, okay. Physically here. Oh, thank you.
For calling the conference center. Anytime during this message, please enter your answer. That's what you said right now. Okay. Your passcode has been confirmed and indicates you are a speaker. Please press star 0 and a coordinator will assist you to start your call or begin recording. That's what you up there.
This is the operator. Is there a leader line?
Yes, just money to the boulevard. We want to start the meeting.
Okay, let me go ahead and join your line, and I'll disconnect the music and get the recordings going for you.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
You will now be placed in the conference.
Welcome, thank you for standing by. One moment while I get the recordings begin. Okay, the conference is now being recorded. If you have any objections, you may disconnect. You may not begin.
Can we get confirmation from any of the folks on the phone? Maybe email your friends, you can email and let us know that you can hear us. Actually, are there any members of the committee who can hear me? They can say their names.
Sure, I'm Nicole Williams. Jerry Dawson. Grace Evelyn Taylor.
Great, you got that, Susan?
I haven't done that yet.
Okay, so we apologize for the delay in the start of the audio. This is Joshua Gordon, Page Chair of the ICC. Welcoming everybody. We are doing the roll call, so you haven't missed really anything yet except some thank yous and some welcomes.
Okay, so to resume the roll call, we're now going to call out names of public members. David Amaral, here. Jim Ball is going to be on the phone. Jim, are you there? Jim Ball? Jim? Okay. Samantha Crane? Jerry Dawson, on the phone? Thanks, Jerry. Amy Goodman? Here. David Mandel? Brian Parnell is not going to be with us today. Kevin Humphrey? Here. Edward Tenya? Can you do that? Thanks. Louis Reichard is not going to be able to join us today. Rob Ring? John Elder Robeson is not going to be able to join us today. Allison Singer? Here. And Julie Taylor? Here. Great. And if anyone joins late, just feel free to join in the conversation during the discussion and let us know that you're here. You can also send an email to let us know that you're here. You were not called.
Good morning, it's Melissa Harris from PMS. I'm on the phone today.
Great.
Good morning, this is Laura Pincock from Archive on the phone as well today.
Thank you. Welcome, Laura. We announced a little bit earlier that you're a new member of the committee. So, with that, I'd like to turn our attention to the minutes. I sent out draft minutes to the committee from the last meeting, and I didn't receive anything by email. Does anyone here in the room have any comments on the minutes? Any corrections that you see that need to be made? So, if there are none, someone
I move to approve the minutes as written.
Thanks. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstaining? The motion carries to accept the minutes as written, and we will be posting them for that shortly, so after the meeting. Thank you very much.
All right, well, thank you, Susan, for the roll call and for the minutes approval. We have I think, a full and dynamic schedule today. We're going to hear this morning briefly from Dr. Thomas Novotny, who's the National Autism Coordinator. After that, we're going to have a couple of talks. One from Angela Geiger from the Chief Executive Officer of Office talks about their new strategic plan and gives an update from their perspective. And then Sam Odom from the University of North Carolina is going to talk about the translating scientific practice. So we're going to hear some developments in the treatment intervention sphere. Then after that, we'll have a slight break and we'll get off to committee business, which will include a discussion of the progress of the strategic plan. We have a lot of work that's been done by a lot of members of this committee and others on strategic plans. We'll hear about that update. We're hoping to have this finalized by early spring. There'll be, as usual, an oral public comment session and a summary of the public comments we've received. Then we'll also be discussing the summary of advances that we've report back to Congress. We have a number of nominations, and we'll highlight some of those and try to come to a consensus and vote on the ones that we want to put forward as advances to Congress. Then we're going to have an update from the NIMH on the National Database for Autism Research. So it'll be a nice science update. There'll be opportunity towards the end of the day for round robin for committee members. So we have a full schedule. We're going to get right into it. And I'll ask Dr. Novotny, again, the National Autism Coordinator, Deputy Assistant Secretary of Health, Department of Health Services, for some remarks. Thanks, Dr. Gordon, and nice to see everybody again here at this quarterly meeting. I really enjoy coming to these and staying as long as I can to learn as much as I can. As you know, I wasn't really a subject matter expert at the beginning of my tenure, but I'm slowly getting some of that expertise on board. I really appreciate all the inputs that I've received along the way from not just the federal side, but the state as well. And I would like to just give you a little bit of a progress report. We're still sort of an unfunded mandate in terms of autism coordination, but I do look forward to further engagement as we go through the transition here. It's something that I think will be a little bit confusing, disruptive, but I think ultimately the work that we're doing is going to be supported and continue. We've received a lot of great inputs. I think last time I reported that what we had done is to recruit some subject matter expertise to come into my office so that we can produce this report on autism and the transition period. And that's happened. And we've had and assembled a working group of members from across the federal government, not just through HHS, but also the Department of Labor, Department of Transportation, Department of Housing and Urban Development, even that sort of administration, but Department of Defense, Department of Justice, and ACF, ACL, and many of the other HHS agencies that you're familiar with. So that's been extremely useful, and the data call that has gone to our members of this working group has produced a lot of input, and it is really a sign both that there's a lot going on, but that there needs to be connections and connectivity and coordination to make these things work more maximally. And so hopefully that's what our report will be able to point out. So we're in the midst of writing right now. We've actually got a substantial amount completed. My objective was trying to get it at least a draft done by the end of January, and I think we'll have a draft that won't be released, but at least be something we're going to send around for clearance to our agencies and get their blessing on this. That could be delayed given the transition. As you can tell, that there's a lot of people leaving and coming. That process will really slow down whatever sort of movement of paper through the system. But at least at the functional levels that we enjoy with our working group, I think we'll at least get the concept right, although maybe not the official press very quickly. So I don't know what to expect on sort of final presentation, but I should be able to give you another good update in the next meeting. I think we'll be pretty far over by that time. I want to, again, extend my appreciation for all the federal agencies that have been providing this input. One of the things I wanted to really try to emphasize in this report is not just the challenges or the gaps within the federal system, but I do want to really try to emphasize what are the challenges to patients, people with ASD, the families, and the caregivers that are also part of that whole system. And so we hope we'll be able to get some of that input as well. You might ask, well, where's the stakeholder input? Well, we have to be a little careful of that. This is not a federal advisory committee where there's processes and clearances for members to be participants in it, but we will try to invite input into our product a little later on. So we don't have a structure or plan yet for that. That's something we have to be careful about, but it is something we're planning to do on a more full basis later. We prepared a fair amount of material for the transition team. I don't know if you know how transitions work, but everybody in the government has been busily preparing documents, briefing books on the key issues that we're all working on and concerned with. And so that has included, of course, the work of our working group on autism and the transition period. And so that has been transmitted for. We have not yet heard back from anybody on this, and as time goes on over the next month or so, I'm sure we'll have a fair amount of opportunity to discuss and to brief our new partners within HHS especially. I met with Representative Chris Smith, one of the authors of the CARES Act, and it was a very cordial, supportive meeting, and I hope that he was also positively responsive to our discussion, and I really felt that we had a good opportunity to share what we're doing. He did express his disappointment that things had been so slow, but we're making progress, and I think that's the important bit. And then I just wanted to emphasize that we've been able to stand up, we've been able to get information, we've been able to begin the report process. Beyond that, in terms of further sort of coordination of efforts, we will be including recommendations in the report as to things that might go better with either the coordination or gaps